Hi everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Micah, and I am going to be your webinar host for today. Um, Hi, Debbie Williams. Thanks for tuning in. Um, my name is Micah. I'm going to be your host for today. So, just want to introduce myself as well as let you guys know what I'm here for and what the mission of this webinar is. And that is basically to make you guys comfortable and taking your first trip with us. All right. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming out to learn a little bit more. We're going to go through a Q&A of this webinar. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to ask you guys to leave your feedback and your questions. I'll be able to answer those questions the best way I do know how before this webinar is officially ended. Like I said, if there's any questions that you may know you can you can just go ahead in the live chat and at the right hand side, put that question in and we'll be able to answer those questions accordingly. All right. And if it's not a question or if it's just some feedback, just go ahead and let me know as well. I'm definitely going to get this started. And like I said, thank you for tuning in. All right. So basically how Uber works and how the app works and basically how you guys would go ahead and, see how to accept trips and how that is going to affect us here. I'll get into all of that information. But as you see this graph right here, it's basically talking about how it works and accepting the request. So, step one, open the Uber Partner app and tap the blue Go Online button. All right. If you're able to go online, that means that you're able to actually start receiving those trip requests with no problem. Step two, when you see the map with your car on it, you're online, you're available. Step three of this graph is basically what the request will look like. Okay, so that request is going to be a blue circle that pops up. It's going to flash, it's going to beep, and then you basically get 15 seconds to accept that trip. All right, once you accept that trip is yours. You can go ahead, pick up that rider, drop off that rider, wherever the case may be. You can definitely do that once that trip is yours. All right, down here at the bottom, you see there are a few links. I'm going to go ahead and post some links into the comment section of this webinar, just so you guys, can refer back to those links. And when we're not a part of the webinar, you probably have some more questions that need answers. So you can definitely go to these links. They're very useful and very helpful. So you're protected under Uber's insurance policy. While driving on the Uber platform, we've got you covered. All right, all the step of the way. So as soon as you accept a request, you're covered under Uber's 1.5 million commercial insurance policy. So this graph to the right basically shows when you're online, you're accepted, and when you begin the trip and when you end the trip, how the insurance works. Now you're gonna have your own personal insurance. That's just because, hey, you're not going to be driving for Uber 24 hours, 7 days a week, right? So you need your own insurance for when you are by yourself and your downtime when you're not online with Uber. So that's when your insurance comes to play. Ours comes to play when you are on a trip, when you accept a trip with Uber. So the 1.5 million of liability coverage per incident, it's 1.5 of uninsured coverage per incident. There's 50,000 of contingent, comprehensive, and collision insurance. So that basically sums up the 1.5 million of insurance and how that is covered. So this link right here with the t.uber.com/insurance, you'll also be able to visit that link as well, and we'll be able to put that in the chat for you so you guys can see exactly how that insurance policy works, and it gives a little bit more detail about how the policy works and how it will be useful for all drivers. So keeping track of basically your partnership and the dashboard. A lot of people say, hey, like, how do I keep track, or how do I know how much money I'm making? How do I know the trips I've made? It's easy, all right? What you have to do is go to partner.com, all right? That link there basically lets you know where and how to see your summary, your trips, your rewards, your profile, your invites, your vehicle you have made. So you'll be able to see all that information there. I will post this link as well into the comment section of this webinar just to let you guys know that these are helpful links and you can always see your dashboard, always be able to access your dashboard, no matter what the case may be. You can definitely access that. So a lot of people say, hey, well, how do I know how safe, Uber is? And I know that I'm going to be driving, but I don't want to drive at night, or should I drive at night, or things of that nature. And I get a lot of women who ask as well, is it safe for women? It's definitely safe, all right? We wouldn't have you out there in an environment that was unsafe, okay? So Uber values its relationships with its partners, who provide the elevated experience riders have to come to expect with every trip request. So basically, with this, we're ensuring that you consistently feel safe and respected, because that basically is our top priority. Drivers rate the riders to give control. So at the end of every trip, you'll be able to rate a rider, whether it's a 1 or whether it's based on 1 star to 5 stars. So whether it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, you'll be able to give your feedback on that person. If it is a great experience, you'll be able to let us know. If it is a horrible experience, you'll be able to let us know. So there's no random pickups. So prior to picking this driver up, you'll be able to see who that person is. You'll be able to see as well as, their rating. You'll be able to see their name. So there's nothing is randomized, all right? You'll definitely know this person prior to them getting into your vehicle. It's a cashless exchange. What that basically means is that there is no cash being exchanged from driver to rider or from rider to driver. So you don't have to worry about, the funds and the money or something being taken, because we don't have the time for that, right? So it's cashless. You don't have to worry about that. The fares are automatically charged to the rider's account, all right? So before that rider is even exiting the vehicle, that fare is already being charged to that person's credit card. All right, and that credit card is on their profile with Uber's platform. So I'm going to get into maximizing your earnings and how to do that. But before I do that, if you guys have any questions, or if I'm going too fast, or if it's a little bit of information that you don't understand, I will be able to go ahead and personally let you guys know, answer those questions. So if you have any questions, any comments, just go ahead and put it in the comment section, and I would definitely be able to answer anything that you do have. I know that it's a lot of information. Just want to get that information correctly, make sure that it's presented to you guys smoothly, because like I said, we are preparing you guys to get on the road and to be able to take that first trip, right? A lot of you have been active for some time, and a lot of you are kind of leery of, hey, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? And it's not just about earning money, right? It's about basically being able to feel comfortable in what you're doing, as well as being able to earn while being comfortable, So if you have any questions, we can just go ahead and answer those. And I'll just get into how to maximize your earnings, which is basically everybody wants to earn. I don't know anybody who wants to just do something for fun and not just make money off of it, right? All right. So how to maximize your earnings. You'll see this graph right here. This graph basically shows how to do so. So Monday through Wednesday, of course, is basic driving, right? Nothing really goes on from a Monday to Wednesday. People are touring from work, so that's why you see the graph that's at 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., that being because it is rush hour, right? People are in the house by 7 p.m., 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock. So that's when the rush hour sort of ends. Thursday to Friday, of course, is the same thing, but Friday does kickstart your weekend. So you'll see that those hours are a little extended from 4 p.m. to 3 a.m. Thursdays are also a great bar hopping night as well. A lot of sports get played on Thursdays. So, you'll see that in the restaurant bar areas that it'll start picking up during Thursday to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right, Saturday basically almost all day. Sunday 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. All right, so that's how you basically can do it on the weekdays and the weekend. Okay, so the demand for drivers is high, and it takes certain instances and cases for it to get that high. So some would say what? Events, right? We have events where in certain areas it'll definitely be more higher pricing, or it'll definitely be more of a demand for drivers. Concerts, sporting events, festivals. Definitely are events that you will want to be a part or in an area where it's going on, because you want to get that money. You want to maximize your earnings then. As oddly and crazy as it sounds, when the weather is bad, when it's raining, when it's inclement weather, when it's cold outside, definitely can maximize your earnings then. Hey, we just had a snowfall, so it's definitely busy right now. People don't want to commute in the snow. People don't want to walk in the snow, so they're gonna call Uber, right? Holidays, Halloween, New Year's, St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is getting ready to come up. We have Valentine's Day that's going to come up. Those holidays are definitely busy. So you will want to be on the road getting money during those holidays, because you'll see that a lot of people, if they're going out, they don't want to drive. So they'll rather take an Uber. Rush hour, late night, weekday rush hour, bar closing, like I mentioned before. Restaurants and bar areas are definitely busy. So keep in mind that information when you go ahead and you start driving. So, partner app, the supply maps, and surge pricing. Basically, how this works is um, the more demand, the higher the price, right? So, if it's more demand and it's less drivers, we don't want to give them the same price for more work. So, what's going to happen is you're going to see a supply map, and it's going to basically be a heat map. All right, so you're going to see yellow, orange, and red. What those colors indicate is that if it's high demand, or if it's moderate demand, or if it's just if it's surge, right? So the orange is high demand, yellow is moderate. It's not too high, it's not too low, and the red is definitely surge pricing. That means that when you're in the surge zone, say for instance how you see the red here and it says 1.8, basically that trip is $5. It'll be times 1.8 that price, right? That's basically how the surge goes. So if you're in a surge zone and you're accepted a request in that zone, and the surge will definitely apply if you requested it in that zone. So we want to make sure you guys are definitely maximizing your earnings with the surge pricing. Be mindful to work in those areas. We do not we don't recommend driving toward the surge, but if you are in the surge when it happens, that is a great way to make some extra cash. But we do not recommend driving towards it, because it's demand. 1 minute it can be there, the next minute it can be gone. So we don't want you to waste your time driving somewhere, and by the time you get there, the surge is just done. So I'm going to get into some frequently asked questions. Don't be afraid to go ahead and ask these questions in the comment section. As you can see, if you're watching on your phone or your laptop or a desktop, you'll definitely be able to see the comment section on the right-hand side, or wherever the comment section is from where you're watching from. You'll be able to ask those questions. I'm going to get into some questions. I think a lot of these questions that I do have now are going to are going to be the answers to some of the questions you have, because these are the frequently asked things. If not, definitely after this webinar, this Q&A, I would definitely be able to answer any questions that you do have. So a lot of people say, hey, how long should I wait for a rider? You basically will want to wait at least 5 minutes for any rider. All right, and that being because you want to give them time to actually come out from where they are, to get in the car, put the seatbelt on. So you want to wait at least 5 minutes, right? If the rider does not show up after 5 minutes, and you try calling them, you try texting them, you are able to cancel that trip. All right. In some markets, I know Jersey is one of them. If you have waited 5 minutes and after 5 minutes that person has still not have arrived, then you'll be compensated $5. All right. You get $5, like I said, if after 5 minutes that rider has not arrived. But you definitely want to wait at least 5 minutes. What if there are multiple stops when a rider changes the destination? That is fine, all right? You got to remember how you're getting paid and compensated. You're getting paid off of the time and of the distance. So if there are multiple stops on the trip, don't worry about it. Your payment is calculated based on the time and the distance, right? So if that person says, hey, you're going to pick me up from my house, right? Before I go to wherever I'm going, I want to stop at the store. I want to stop at the CVS for 5 minutes, pick up an item. I'm going to get back in the car, and then we're going to drop me off. You can do that, all right? You can definitely do that. The rider can always change their destination as well and the location where they're going. So as long as the trip is running, you will be compensated for your time and of distance. What if a rider makes a mess in my car? That's fine, all right? It's not fine, but it happens. I'll put it that way. It happens. So, I mean, it's not likely that you're picking someone up and say, for instance, if they do have a child, or say, for instance, they do have coffee in their hand or water or whatever. Sometimes messes happen. You should take a picture of the mess, email it to us, and you can also click on, in your app, it's going to say trip history. You're going to click on that trip where that mess happened, and you're going to say, I had an issue with the rider, and with that issue, you would say request a cleaning fee. All right, so we'll do that, we'll process it, and it will take at least 24 to 48 hours at most for your request to get solved and for us to refund you that cleaning fee. What if too many people try to get in my car? That also happens. All these things are things that actually happen. So sometimes one person can request, and you get there, and it's about 2 to 3 people. Politely explain that you can only fit as many people as there are seatbelts in your car. So if you're in the basic car that sits up to 5 passengers, you have 5 seatbelts. That means that only 4 people, not including yourself, so only 5 people, including yourself, can fit in the vehicle. All right, this can be a good opportunity to give out your promo code and let them know, like, hey, you can request another car. If there is too many people, you can't fit them, or they can request a bigger vehicle. Can you explain the difference between Uber X, XL, Black, and SUV? All right, so depending on the type of car you have, you'll be placed in a different product category. So everybody who works for Uber X, that is your basic vehicle. Okay, that vehicle is your 4-door compact car that sits up to 5 passengers. All right, including yourself. So that's our most basic option. Uber XL is basically anything that sits up to 7 passengers. That's Uber XL. SUV as well seats up to 7 passengers, and that's basically commercial plated vehicles that are qualified as SUV. Uber Black is definitely commercial vehicles. That is our Black car service. So our Black car service is Uber Black and SUV, and they have to be commercial drivers. Those are commercial drivers, commercial plated vehicles, and that's how that categorizes the Uber X, XL, Black, and SUV. How do I get paid? How much can I expect to earn? A lot of people ask this, especially when starting out. They want to know, hey, how much do Uber drivers get paid, or how much can I make in a week, or how much do I make an hour? So the fare for every trip is calculated by Uber, and payments are made via direct deposit into your checking account. All right. So like I said, you get paid off of time and of distance. So that's basically your fares being calculated. Every Thursday, or you would definitely get direct deposit. So earnings depend on when and how often you drive. So say for instance, that week you only work Monday, then that's what you'll get paid. Say for instance, that week you work every day, that's what you will get paid. You'll get that direct deposit into your account. Can I have my spouse or another passenger in my vehicle? This is not something that Uber allows. Our policy does not allow. When riders request a trip, their expectation is to fit as many passengers in the vehicle as allowed, right? And you don't want to intimidate them with your spouse or your friend sitting in the front seat to drop them off, right? Because it can be a little intimidating for some folks. So people don't want to see that. So that is something that our policy does not allow. If you have a passenger with you and the rider has the maximum number of allowed passengers with them, that's basically an inconvenience for that rider. We would not want them to have to cancel the trip because you decided to have your spouse with you. Okay, so that's something that we do want to avoid. How do taxes work? Partners are independent contractors, right? And you get a 1099 form at the end of the year. You get a 1099 miscellaneous and you get a 1099K. You're responsible for filing and paying your own taxes. You're your own boss. So this is the reason why you get a 1099 and not a W-2 or W-4. All right. So we do not provide tax advice, but what we do provide is the 1099. So you'll be able to go to your local H&R or your local TurboTax and get information on how to file those taxes. All right. Where can I drive? You can drive anywhere in the state of New Jersey. Okay. This is for New Jersey drivers. You can drive anywhere in the state of New Jersey, whether it's South Jersey, North Jersey, Central Jersey. You'll be able to do that. You can operate your vehicle anywhere in the state of Connecticut as well. All right. All of Connecticut. And you can operate in the city, but just the city of Philadelphia. You won't be able to go to the outer skirts. You won't be able to go to Allentown. You won't be able to go to Pittsburgh. Just the city of Philadelphia is where you'll be able to operate as a New Jersey partner. You can't drive in New York City. You can only drop off in New York City, but you won't be able to drive in New York City. Just dropping off, you won't be able to pick up in New York City. So who pays for the tolls? If you drive through a toll, the New Jersey Easy Pass toll amount will automatically be charged to the rider, and you will be credited for the cost of the toll. So initially, you're going to pay on the way there, but it's going to come out of that rider's account because that rider is paying for that toll. It's going to be included. We just reimburse you when it's time to get paid for that money. Do I have to log a minimum number of hours? No, you do not. You don't have to log a minimum number of hours. As an independent contractor, you're your own boss. So you make your own hours, your own time, your own money. You can go ahead and do that. When you want to earn money, you're just going to go online. And when you don't, hey, it's just easy as going offline. So like I said, there are no minimum hours, but we do recommend that you take at least one trip per month. And as often as you can, basically. But if you don't want to do so, that is fine with us. Like I said, the mission of this webinar is basically help you guys to get on the road, all right, to take your first trip. That's what we want to do for you guys. We want to make you as comfortable as possible to doing that, all right? So I have some questions here that I know you guys are going to have, and I just want to be the one to answer those questions, and I just want to be the one to provide feedback on what to do in certain instances. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I see Debbie Williams has been leaving her comments and her questions. So I'm going to get into hers first. What is the difference between rider plus one and when more than the ID call gets in the car? So that happens. Basically, you'll get a request, and then it can be, or say for instance, if I called an Uber, and I called it, right? And myself and my two friends are getting in. As long as we can sit into that vehicle, as long as we'll be able to take that trip. And then it happens as well where people call Ubers for other folks. So it can happen where, hey, I want to send my mom to the doctors, or I want to send my mom to wherever she needs to go, and I can call her an Uber from my account. People do it all the time. If anything happens on that trip, then you would just, that whoever called that trip will be in charge or responsible for whatever happened on it. It happens all the time. Payday is on Thursdays. I got paid on Wednesdays, and my Thursday pay was not included. Okay, so that's another thing that happens. Depending on your bank, most drivers get paid on Thursdays, but we have a lot of people that do get paid on Wednesdays. So it's kind of like a bank processing thing. We send our payments out to your account on Tuesday. So whether you get it on Wednesday or Thursday, it just has something to do with your bank. So if you got your payment on Wednesday, everything that you made after that will be on the following week's pay. That's just how it will work. How do pooling work? Uber Pool is something that we have launched in New Jersey last, I want to say about 3 months or so, 3 to 4 months or so. And it's basically where you can take more than one passenger at the same time to a destination. So it's basically carpool. So you can pick me up, and I want to go to, let's say, 14th Street. But you can also pick somebody else up after you pick me up that wants to go to 14th Street or wants to go into that direction. So it's basically an Uber pool. It's kind of like a carpool situation. All right. So how do I end a trip when the customer gets out a block before end trip on app? That happens a lot as well, Debbie. So if a person is a block away or 2 blocks away, say for instance, they're like, "Hey, Debbie, this is fine. You can drop me off here, and I'll just walk the rest of the way," or whatever they want to do. It happens. You'll be able to prompt and end the trip because as long as you're in the area, that end trip sign is going to pop up onto the app, right? So as long as you're in that area, or say for instance, you do have to, you know, drive down that block or whatever just to end the trip, you can do so. But that end trip sign for to end the trip, the red strip, is definitely on the app. So if a person says, "Hey, I want to get out," you can definitely do it there. Hi, Marcus. Thanks for tuning in. Hello. Need warmer temps in New Jersey? Yes, we do. The reason why I'm wearing a hoodie right now. But thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, just go ahead and please put them into the comment section. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to give you more feedback. And I'm here to make you guys as comfortable as possible to get you on the road and to take your first trip. Do I tell the customer that I'm pooling? What if they are not comfortable with another rider? All right, Debbie, this is something that you have to know. So, a lot of people may get in the car and say, "Hey, why are you picking up somebody else, right? Why is that person in on my trip?" It is not that person's trip. Before that person requests that trip, they were asked if they wanted Uber Pool. We asked them on the app twice if they want Uber Pool. Both times before confirming that they wanted to be picked up, they consented and they said yes, Uber Pool. So it's one of those things that some of them say they don't know, but they requested the trip. They basically asked for pool. So sometimes it happens when a person says, "Hey, I didn't request this," or "Hey, why is this person on this?" Be mindful and let them know that they requested pool trips. A lot of people don't like that, but what they go for is they see the cheaper rate and they just go towards that rate, which is the Uber pool trip. So just let them know that they requested it. And basically, drivers are there to educate riders as well. I tell drivers this all the time. It is your duty to educate them. If they say, "Hey, I didn't request it," or "Hey," just let them know, like, "Hey, I think that you went ahead and requested a cheaper fare. Next time, just go ahead and request Uber X, and an Uber X car will come pick you up. You'll be the only person in that vehicle." How do I sign up for Uber Pool? So, Uber Pool is mandatory for all New Jersey P2P drivers. Okay, so you should automatically have that on your system. Depending on where you are and where you're working, sometimes Uber Pool is more popular. Sometimes it's not. So I know in this area where I'm located, which is more northern New Jersey, Uber Pool is definitely popular just because it's city like where I am. So it's definitely popular and it definitely depends on where you are. But you should definitely be getting pool trips, Debbie. All right, so I have Rainier Gonzalez here. I'm going to answer a question that he has. And I'm going to also put in some more helpful tips and some more helpful links that you guys should definitely visit throughout this webinar. And not only throughout this webinar, but throughout this link, because it's a lot of things that you guys might have questions with, right? So it's a lot of things that I want to make sure that you guys get answered. So that's another link. Rainier, I'm going to get into your question. Give me 2 seconds. I'm definitely going to answer your question. And if you need to contact us and get into where we are, there you go. That's another link. These are the links that I told you that I would definitely send. Give me 1 second. All right, so what is the best way to make an adjustment to fare when arriving to the destination? A customer asks if you can wait and make a return trip back to initial pickup location. So, Rainier, this is what happens. We have just launched a new initiative where you get compensated for wait time. All right, so this is something that we're trying to see if it's going to work out for a lot of drivers, but a lot of this happens to a lot of drivers and it's frequent. So we want to make sure you guys are getting compensated for that time. So if a customer says, "Hey, wait," or whatever the case may be, you got to realize you're getting paid off of the time and of the distance of that trip. But if you're waiting 5 minutes for that customer, or if you're waiting 6 minutes for that customer, however long you're waiting, you'll be compensated for that waiting time. All right. And if they do not show, you'll be compensated as well. Like I said, everything is based off of time and of distance. But if you do need to do a fare adjustment, all you have to do is go into your trip history and you'll be able to say fare adjustment needed, or you had an issue with the fare, and we'll be able to adjust that for you. If you do not get a new response, hopefully you do get a response on through tech support. But if you do not get a response, we're always here. I put in a link where we are located, www.uber.com/drive New Jersey, the contact. It'll be the second link I posted, where you'll be able to see where we are, where you can come in for those difficult fares. It happens all the time. I asked because during a guaranteed surge last night, this happened. Being a new driver, I wasn't quite sure. So I'm going to put both of your questions intertwined so I can better understand what happened. So you wanted to do a fare adjustment when arriving to the destination, and customer asks if you can wait, make a return trip back to initial pickup location. So if you requested that, or if you accepted that trip at the time of the surge, in the surge, you should be receiving that surge. All right, so you'll get that guaranteed surge if that trip had started, began where the surge was on. Whether it wasn't a high surge or whether it was, you'll definitely get that surge. And if you do not get that surge, Rainier, definitely come into one of our green light hubs. We'll be able to help you out, see why not. Or you can go through your app to the fare and say you request a fare adjustment, and we'll be able to adjust that fare for you. Just because we want to make sure you're getting paid, we want to make sure you're being compensated. We just want to make sure that's happening for you. So, like I said, you guys, I'm here. I'm here to answer questions. No problem, Rainier. Like I said, I'm here to ask questions, to answer questions. Apologize about that, and I'm here to get you guys comfortable with basically being able to take these trips, basically being able to help you guys out with getting on the road, taking your first trip, whatever the case may be. Just want to make sure we can do that for you, because a lot of people have questions. A lot of people need their questions answered. Just want to do that for you guys. So, Debbie, you're saying that your GPS is slow sometimes, which is normal. What provider are you using? I know that GPSs go accordingly to the service that they're getting. And when you're online, when you are on a trip, when you are taking these trips, you want to make sure that your Wi Fi is turned off. The reason I say that is if you're driving with your Wi Fi on, um, basically what's going to happen is that the Wi-Fi is always looking for a connection. So if you're dropping somebody off and your GPS is slow, or it's not up to speed and not up to par as the standards you would want it to be, it's because it's looking for different connection signals. So you want to make sure your Wi-Fi is off, and definitely it might just be the GPS that you are using. So on different phones, you can choose whatever GPS you want to use, whether it is Waze, whether it is Google Maps. You'll be able to decipher and differentiate whichever one that you want to use. So keep that in mind as well. It could be one of the three things: your Wi-Fi is on, two, the GPS system that you are using, three, your provider. So you want to make sure the provider is getting the best service as well. Yeah, of course, Marcus. Thanks for reiterating what Rainier was asking, if he was asking this question. Perhaps that does happen. You can always go ahead and end the trip. All right. Maybe the rider is in transit and decides, hey, you know what? You don't want to. I was supposed to be going to 14th Street, but come to find out, traffic is busy. I need to get to 14th Street in the next 10 minutes. It might be easier for me to walk. Hey, if they want to get out on 13th, you can definitely drop them off. You can end the trip as well. That is no problem. They can definitely do that. You can definitely do as many stops as possible, because if you do those stops, like I said, you get paid off of time and of distance, right? So if you pick me up and I said, hey, I want to go to CVS before dropping me off home, you drop me off at CVS, you're going to keep the app running. That's something that I did not say. I do apologize, Rainier and Marcus. You will keep the app running because, like I said, time and distance. So as long as the app is running, it's going to calculate that time. You haven't moved anywhere because because that person went into the store. So we haven't moved anywhere. But once the person gets back into the vehicle and the trip starts to go ahead again, time and of distance. So if that person was in the car or in the car for 15 minutes, and they come out and they were in the store for about 5 to 7 minutes, then you'll definitely be compensated for both that time and of that distance. It happens. A lot of people want to go to different stores. A lot of people want to, stop at the store before going home. It happens a lot. Yes. So what happens is this: on the app, the rider can choose to change their destination. So, hey, when I requested the trip, yeah, I wanted to go home, but on the way before I go home, I want to go to a store. If I know that store's address, I can put that in. Or sometimes what happens is that, hey, not only do I want to go to the store, but I want to go to my friend's, I want to go meet my friend at the bar. You can definitely do that as well. As long as the time is running, as long as the distance is going, timing of distance. Thank you, Marcus, for filling in that question a little bit more. I apologize, Rainier, that I did not understand what you were saying at first, but now I got it. Let me know if that makes sense as far as if the person wants to do a different destination, because, like I said, it would run off of time and distance. All right, see, Debbie, so your Wi-Fi was on. Yeah, we want to make sure that's off. when you're in the car. Only use the Wi-Fi when you're in a steady area, as far as home, or that's when you would want to use the Wi-Fi and have that on. But if not, take that Wi-Fi off. And you said that you use Waze. Okay, cool. Waze is a good GPS system, but I think that your issue here was that the fact that the Wi-Fi is on while you're driving. Marcus, thank you. I thought about that, but customer in the trip, so I didn't have the option. Yeah, that's basically what happened, Rainier. So you just want to make sure that when that happens, just keep it going. And when before ending the trip, make sure that that rider is going to that exact destination.
Who comes up here finds out that we're doing these thing, I swap like a little separate. And I guess like, and that's the play area, which it looks, it's like that's a nice space. It already has a long table. Whatever spot you guys can use.
All right, guys. I thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any more questions, just go ahead and please just fill in. Let me know. I feel like I've been answering a lot of these, and that's basically what I'm here for. I mean, for first-time trips, and for people who have taken that first trip but need a little bit more information on how to basically, be a pro at this. I'm basically picking up picking up riders. I apologize, dropping off riders, making it the most comfortable situation for yourself. We want to make sure that you're comfortable. We want to make sure that you're able to, maximize your earnings, and do what it is that you want to do when you're on line with us. Will car seats be available in New Jersey like they are in New York City? I think that would be useful in my driving area. Yes, that is very useful, Marcus. Eventually, we are going to bring that to New Jersey. There's no time frame on when that is going to happen. Now, the thing about the car seats is that you have to get certified for that, right? So the reason why the New York City partners have it is because they're certified for the wheelchair accessible test. They're certified for as well as having a car seat, putting a car seat in and taking it out. So that's something that we have to keep in mind, that for the drivers who are going to be utilizing the Uber family, which they call it, the car seats, there's a certain certification for it in order to use it on the Uber platform. So that is going to come with time. There's no set date on when it is going to come, but it will come. What we do recommend is for the drivers or who are picking up riders who have children and babies, we recommend for them to have their own car seats, just because it is a fine and it is a ticket. If you do get pulled over and that baby or that child is not in a car seat, all right, we want to have that person into a car seat because we don't want you to get in trouble. We don't want you to be liable for anything of that nature. So yes, the certification will come, but in the meantime, if you are picking someone up, please allow them and please help them and please tell them that they need a car seat for that child. Are dash cams okay, and do I have to get some kind of permission for a user in New Jersey? So there's different rules and different laws when it comes to dash cam. If I were you, Marcus, I would look those up when it comes to ride sharing programs and when it comes to dash cams. Now you can have a dash cam, but the thing is that you will have to let that rider know that, hey, you're recording that trip, or hey, I do have a dash cam. So that would have to be reiterated to the rider and let them know. But I would definitely, if I was you, I would look up having dash cams as well as using them with the rideshare program as Uber. So that's something you definitely want to do before actually putting that into your vehicle. All right, Debbie. I am having a ball. I am finding my way home from everywhere. Cool. Good. That's good news. That is definitely good news. We love for you to have a ball. That is great. Well, I see the kind of car seat that Uber is using in New Jersey. I could buy that on my own, and I have it in my car, couldn't I? I just wouldn't get the $10 extra. Is that right? That is also correct. So if you want to go ahead and take the extra step, and the initiative to go ahead and get your own car seat, you can definitely do so. I think that'll boost your ratings as well from riders when they see that you have a car seat in there, and if it works in your area and there are a lot of people in your area who need car seats and you just so happen to have one, then that is definitely an A plus. No, you won't be compensated the 10 extra, and that being because the Uber family, when it comes to Uber family, right? So Uber family, it's a little bit higher just because that person has provided that car seat. But in this case, since we do not have Uber family in New Jersey, you won't be compensated for that. But that is correct. If you do want to do that, you can go ahead and do so. We do appreciate, we definitely do appreciate you being able to think about that and to do that. That is definitely helpful. Debbie Williams, how do I get an Uber sign for my window? Unfortunately, we do not have any Uber signs for your window. The riders are able to know that it's you by the car that you're driving, as well as the plate number that you do have, Debbie. So you don't need a car sign for your windows that says Uber or that illuminates and things of the glitz and the glam. You don't need that. But we do not have any, unfortunately. If I had some, trust me, I would find a way to get it to you. So sorry, can you, all right, Marcus is asking. Sorry, you may have to repeat that again. I'm sorry. I can't use my own car seat. No, you can. If you want, you definitely can. We're not going to take that away from you that you're using your own car seat. Um, when it comes to fitting people into the vehicle, you might have to take it out to fit, say for instance, a person without a child, and let's say it's three or four of them, they need to sit in, then you might have to take that out. But if you want to provide your own car seat, that is fine. You can definitely do so. Um, we're not going to take that away from you. It seems as if it would be a help in your sign, your side. Thanks, Debbie W. Are your Uber signs available or required? They are not available. We do not have them right now. In the state of New Jersey, we don't have them, and they are not required as well. So, like I was telling Debbie, as far as Uber signs are concerned, that person, when they, the average rider, when they request, they're looking for someone, and it says, "Hey, Tom in a Toyota Camry with the plate XYZ123 is on its way." That's what they're supposed to be looking at. They're supposed to be looking at the vehicle as well as the plate number. That plate number is going to be how they identify what that car is and who that car is and who's in that car. That's how it is. So that's why the sign is kind of like, you really don't need the sign if you do have the plate number. The plate number is your sign. So it is not required to have one of those signs, and we do not have any available. I apologize about that. How to handle drunks? What if they barf in the car? It happens all the time. That goes back to the question that I answered when it said, when it was one of the frequent asked questions, and it basically said, "How do I handle a mess?" So what's gonna happen is you're gonna take a picture of that mess, okay, Marcus? And with that mess, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna send it to. You're gonna go through the trip history in your app, and then you're gonna go ahead and say, "Hey, I had an issue, with the rider," and then you're gonna request a cleaning fee. You can do that through the app, and then somebody would get back to you within 24 to 48 hours and refund you however much money you paid for, say, for instance, to clean that mess or whatever the case may be. We would go ahead and refund you for that. So it does happen. A way to get around that is to just like keep plastic bags in your car. I know a lot of drivers do that, especially if they're driving at night, picking up people that are intoxicated. You want to keep that space and area clean, safe, without any harmful smells. So you can definitely keep barf bags in your vehicle. So just allow me to know if I went ahead and I answered your question, Marcus. I want to make sure that I got those questions and those answers out the way. If I accept a call and arrive at a bar and it looks like the rider is likely to barf, can I really deny them transport? Um, it happens, right? Say for instance, and the thing is, we want once you accept the trip, we would like for you guys to actually take that trip. All right. If you don't take the trip, it's quite alright. We wouldn't put cancel the trip in the app if you weren't going to, if there wasn't a reason to cancel. So you're always able to cancel a trip, right? But when it comes to taking riders, we would like for you guys to do take those riders. But say, for instance, if something does happen, you do need to go ahead and cancel it. You can do so. All right. Don't want you to, but you definitely can. And with the barf bags, definitely keep those handy because it's likely that you might get someone who looks like they're gonna, barf, but they don't, right? So you never know. It can go either way. Hopefully, you won't ever need them. Hopefully, whoever you are taking can contain themselves. But that is basically how we would handle that um, situation. So, like I said, those links that I have placed into this chat, partners. That's a helpful link. I want to make sure you guys go ahead and you use these links because they're very helpful. They get in the ins and outs of how to utilize the app. They get in the ins and outs of how to um, basically anything that you might need help with. So we want to make sure that you guys use those. Please refer back to those links that I have posted into this chat. I've got about one, two, three. I got about four links in the chat. Please use them. Definitely helpful. Definitely useful. Definitely resourceful. I make that clear. I make that statement clear. Definitely resourceful. Help.uber.com basically is definitely a big help. It'll definitely help you with everything that you need to know. When it comes to monies, when it comes to fares, when it comes to uh, everything, when it comes to account, when it comes anything you might need to know, help.uber.com definitely is a help. I will say that it has been a pleasure. This is again, is Micah. It has been a pleasure to have you guys tune into this webinar and to give you more feedback, more insight, and a more of a push to actually get on the road. That's basically what it is. We want to make you guys comfortable. We don't want to just push you out there without knowing anything or having enough knowledge on what to do and the ins and outs. We want to give that to you. We want to provide that to you. So thank you, thank you, thank you for coming out. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that this was definitely resourceful. Definitely, definitely, definitely resourceful. I have Marcus with another question I'm definitely going to answer. What about checking for age of driver? I heard some parents like to call an Uber to take their kid to school, but they might be under 18, so that should be denied. When it comes to that, now, we won't we would not want for you to take anybody who was under the age of, I would say, 18, right? um 16, 15, but under 12, definitely no. And especially if you're not comfortable, right? We want you to be comfortable. We don't want you to take and have this responsibility into your hands and you're not comfortable. So if you're not comfortable and you said, hey, I don't feel comfortable with taking, it's not because you don't want to, but because anything can happen and you don't want that to happen to you. You don't want it to be in your conscience. So I recommend you using your best judgment when it comes to taking kids. There are a lot of children that do utilize the platform. Well, there are a lot of parents that utilize the platform for their children. And to drop them off and pick them up from school is definitely one of them. So, under the age of 12, I would say no. I would say no. That's me using my best judgment. I would say no. But Marcus, it is definitely your best judgment. Um, it, Under the age of 18, yes. But are you going to tell a 17-year-old no? You know what I mean? So, babies by themselves, no. Kids by themselves, no. Under the age of 12, I would say no. I would say no. But definitely use your best judgment on that. But I know it happens a lot. It does happen a lot. Anytime, Marcus. Like I said, thank you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is definitely a pleasure to do this for you guys because, like I said, we want to make sure you guys have the push you need. If you are already on the road, we hope that you continue to do it. And if you need an extra push to just get out there and to you haven't done it yet, we want to make you as comfortable as possible. It has been a pleasure. Anytime, Marcus. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Rainier. And for all the other people who have tuned in, haven't left a comment, thank you for tuning in as well. It has definitely been a pleasure to do this with you guys. I will be back next week. Same time, same channel. Um, if you can, if you're allowed to, go ahead and tune in next week as well. Enjoy your weekend. Let this be a weekend if you have not started to get on the road. Let this be a weekend if you have started already to just earn a little extra. Um, Definitely has been a pleasure. Definitely wouldn't mind chatting with you guys again. If you have any questions, just go ahead and put it into the chat. I'm still here to answer questions. But it has definitely been a pleasure. Thank you guys. Farmers is the only insurance carrier in New Jersey that I could find that offers a rideshare policy. Would there be others that you can announce? Not to my knowledge. To my knowledge, right now, Farmers is the only carrier that we do allow that we do have in New Jersey that allow ride sharing programs. Um, they're awesome. They come to our office every day trying to get more drivers to sign up with them because it is an awesome program to be able to drive with that policy. So, not to my knowledge if there are going to be any more, but definitely Farmers is that one to definitely help. Yeah, so a lot of people aren't driving without the policy from Farmers. Um, a lot of people are doing that. Hopefully, there are more to come that can get on the the van wagon to help drivers with ride sharing programs because you got to think we're not just the only ride sharing program. So we want to get more insurance companies as well. But for right now, Farmers is the only one. Can Uber drivers in New Jersey deliver packages, etc., or is that not in New Jersey yet? So for New Jersey, we only have P2P, which you are Uber X driving passengers. And we also have Eats that is launching the 15th. That is launching on Monday. So we have Uber Eats that is launching Monday in the Hudson County area, and you can sign up for that. As far as packages are concerned, we do not have that. That is more for New York partners who have the New York City who can deliver packages, because when it comes to packages, that's more on foot or by bike rather than car. So we will have Eats that is launching this February 15th, well, which is Wednesday. I'm sorry, I apologize about that. But for February 15th, um, next Wednesday, we'll be launching Uber Eats program. So if you wanted to do that as well, we can sign you up for that in our office, or you can email about that, and we'll be able to get you on a platform with the Uber Eats profile. That is coming Wednesday, though. No problem, Marcus. Have a good one. Like I said, it was thanks. Thank you guys for coming out again. It has been a pleasure to do this today. Um, if anything, if any questions that you might have, if any questions that went unanswered, um, there's 4 links in this chat. Please, 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 please utilize this chat. Utilize those links. They will point you into the right direction to get you the right answer that you do need. Like I said, we're here to make you comfortable. We're here to give you that extra to get in on the road. That's the purpose of this webinar. The purpose was to get you on the road, whether it be your first time trip or your fifth time trip. We want to make sure you're comfortable. We want to make sure that you do that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, I will be here next week, Friday, 1 p.m., same time, same channel. Thank you, guys.